You are living in a time where technology is moving faster than most people can keep up with. Every year, your life becomes more digital. Your work, your finances, your health records, your conversations, even your identity. And in 2026, cybersecurity is no longer just an IT problem or something only big corporations need to worry about. It is personal. It affects you directly, whether you realize it or not. As you step into 2026, the threat landscape looks very different from even a year or two ago. Cyber attacks are no longer random. They are intelligent, targeted, automated, and often invisible until the damage is already done. Attackers are no longer just hackers sitting behind screens. They are organized groups, criminal syndicates, nation states, and increasingly machines powered by artificial intelligence. In this video, you are going to walk through the top 5 cybersecurity threats you must watch in 2026. Not as abstract concepts, but as real risks that impact your job, your organization, and your personal digital life. By the end of this video, you won't just understand the threats, you will understand why they matter and what mindset you need to survive in this new era. So take a deep breath, slow down, and let's begin. You are already seeing artificial intelligence everywhere. In chatbots, content generation, image creation, and automation tools. But in 2026, you must accept a hard truth. Attackers are using AI just as aggressively and often more creatively than defenders. In the past, cyber attacks relied heavily on volume and luck. Phishing emails were poorly written. Malware was noisy. Attacks failed more often than they succeeded. But now, AI has changed the rules completely. In 2026, cyber attacks are personalized, context-aware, and adaptive. When you receive a phishing email today, it might already know your role, your organization, your current project, and even your writing style. AI systems can scrape social media, breach databases, corporate websites, and public documents to build detailed profiles about you. That means the email you receive no longer feels suspicious. It feels familiar, timely, and trustworthy. You are also facing AI-generated voice and video impersonation. In 2026, deepfake technology has matured to the point where attackers can convincingly impersonate executives, managers, or even family members. Imagine receiving a voice call that sounds exactly like your boss asking you to urgently approve a payment, or a video message that appears to come from leadership during a crisis. These are not future scenarios, they are happening now. What makes AI-powered attacks especially dangerous is their ability to learn and adapt. If one technique fails, the AI refines its approach automatically. If a security control blocks one path, the attack finds another. You are no longer dealing with static threats. You are dealing with evolving digital adversaries. In 2026, defending against AI-powered attacks is less about tools and more about awareness, behavior, and layered controls. You must assume that anything that looks real could be synthetic, and anything that feels urgent could be engineered. Quantum computing often feels like science fiction, something distant and theoretical. But in 2026, the threat is no longer about if quantum computing will break encryption. It's about when attackers will start exploiting stored data retroactively. Here's what you need to understand. Even if quantum computers are not yet widely capable of breaking today's encryption at scale, attackers are already preparing. They are harvesting encrypted data today with the intention of decrypting it later. This strategy is often called harvest now, decrypt later, and it is one of the most underestimated threats of this decade. When you send encrypted emails, store files in the cloud, or transmit sensitive data, you assume encryption protects you forever. In reality, encryption only protects you until it doesn't. In 2026, Organizations are waking up to the fact that long-term sensitive data, health records, government data, intellectual property, legal documents may become readable in the future. You also need to understand that quantum risk isn't just a technical issue, it's a strategic one. If your organization handles data that must remain confidential for 10, 20, or 30 years, you are already exposed. Waiting until quantum attacks become mainstream will be far too late. In 2026, the conversation is shifting toward quantum resistant cryptography. This means preparing now, assessing where encryption is used, understanding cryptographic dependencies, and planning migration paths. You don't need to panic, but you do need to plan. Quantum computing won't knock on your door with a warning. When its impact becomes visible, the damage will already be done. Look around you. Your home, your office, your city, everything is connected. Cameras, sensors, wearables, medical devices, vehicles, smart meters, industrial controllers. In 2026, the Internet of Things is no longer a niche technology. It is the backbone of modern infrastructure. And that's exactly why it's such an attractive target. You need to understand that many IoT devices were never designed with strong security in mind. They often run outdated software, use default credentials, lack patching mechanisms, and operate silently in the background. Once compromised, they don't raise alarms. They simply obey. In 2026, attackers are using IoT devices not just to steal data, but to build massive attack networks. Compromised devices can be used to launch distributed denial of service attacks, spy on environments, manipulate physical processes, or act as hidden entry points into larger systems. The real danger lies in visibility. You may not even know how many connected devices exist in your environment. Shadow IoT, devices deployed without security oversight, is one of the fastest growing risks today. In critical environments like healthcare, energy, manufacturing, and smart cities, IoT vulnerabilities can move cyber attacks into the physical world. That means service disruptions, safety risks, and real-world consequences. In 2026, protecting IoT is not about perfection. It's about visibility, segmentation, monitoring, and accountability. If a device connects to your network, it must be known, managed, and isolated appropriately. If you think ransomware is old news, 2026 will prove you wrong. Ransomware is no longer just about locking files and demanding payment. It has evolved into a multi-stage extortion business model. Attackers now steal data first, analyze it, and decide how much pressure they can apply. Encryption is just one lever, not the main one. In 2026, ransomware attacks are targeted, strategic, and patient. Attackers may spend weeks or months inside a network, learning how an organization operates, identifying sensitive data, and understanding who holds decision-making power. When the attack finally happens, it is surgical and devastating. You may face threats to leak confidential data, expose customer information, disrupt operations, or even manipulate regulatory reporting. Paying the ransom doesn't guarantee safety. It often invites further attacks. What makes ransomware particularly dangerous in 2026 is its alignment with business impact. Attackers know when organizations are most vulnerable: during mergers, audits, peak seasons, or crises. They time attacks for maximum leverage. Defending against modern ransomware requires more than backups. It requires detection, identity protection, segmentation, incident readiness, and leadership awareness. In 2026, ransomware resilience is a board-level responsibility, not just a technical one. You don't operate alone. You rely on vendors, cloud providers, software libraries, contractors, managed services, and third-party platforms. In 2026, Attackers understand this better than anyone. Instead of attacking you directly, they attack someone you trust. Supply chain attacks are particularly dangerous because they exploit implicit trust. A compromised update, a poisoned software dependency, or a breached service provider can silently introduce attackers into thousands of organizations at once. In modern environments, software is built using open source components, automated pipelines, and third-party services. Each dependency expands your attack surface, often without your awareness. In 2026, supply chain attacks are becoming more subtle. Instead of obvious disruptions, attackers aim for persistence and access. They want footholds, not headlines. You must accept that trust alone is no longer enough. Verification, monitoring, and accountability are essential. You need visibility into who you depend on, how software is built, and where risk is introduced. Supply chain security is not about eliminating vendors, it's about understanding and managing risk realistically. As you look ahead into 2026, one thing becomes clear. Cybersecurity is no longer about defending systems alone. It's about defending people, trust, and continuity. The threats you've explored today, high-powered attacks, quantum risk, IoT vulnerabilities, ransomware evolution, and supply chain compromise, all share a common theme. They exploit complexity, speed, and overconfidence. But here's the empowering truth. Awareness is power. Understanding how threats evolve allows you to change how you think, how you design systems, and how you make decisions. You don't need to be paranoid. You need to be prepared. Cybersecurity in 2026 is not about fear. It's about responsibility. And the moment you start seeing security as part of everyday thinking, you are already ahead of most of the world. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this valuable, subscribe for more real-world cybersecurity insights that actually matter. And remember, staying informed isn't optional anymore. It's your first line of defense. Stay alert, stay curious, stay secure.